hello from wherever you're tuning in from today. I'm here in sunny Perth, and of course I'm Hannah, the Suburban Witch. And today I just wanted to stop and talk about sun signs. What are sun signs? What do they mean? What do they mean to me personally? That sort of thing. So a sun sign is what most people will typically know of as a star sign. So when people say, what's your sign? What they're referring to is the location of the sun in the zodiac at the time of your birth. Now the sun goes through each zodiac sign, there are 12 zodiac signs, goes through each one for approximately 30 days, but they don't line up with our traditional calendar month. So what we do is we start with Aries. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, and Aries actually starts over in April. So we've got April, late March, April, that's going to be your Aries star sign. Then we go from Aries to Taurus, and then Taurus through to Gemini, Cancer, so on and so forth, all through all 12 signs. So what I'm going to do, and also the dates will slightly change each year, not all the time, but just slightly depending on when the sun actually goes into that zodiac sign. So it's a good idea to have a look on planetwatcher.com. That can show you where it is and when it's actually going to switch over. But if you're not that far into the depths of astrology, just Google it, it'll tell you. And when you are looking at your birth date, so when you were actually born, it's always going to be that. It's not going to change from year to year. It's just if you have a new baby in the household and you want to look up that date. All right, so what I'm going to go through is basically each of the 12 signs, just a little intro into each one and what they could mean if they're your sun sign. And what your sun sign is, it's your underlying drive, it is your soul's essence, it is like you at your best, it's your sunny self. So the main part of your personality, basically. As you've heard me mention before, we also have moon signs and a rising sign. It's almost like this triplicate that makes up you and how you express yourself, like those three together. So there are other elements to you. Your moon is your underlying emotional sign. Your rising sign is generally what you're here to do as a job here in this life. And usually the rising sign is sort of how you present yourself to people or how people see you. But I'm not going to go into those ones today, just talking about sun signs. So we're going to start with Aries. Sun sign in Aries. So this is basically a person that's going to be quite fast. They're a go-getter. They love fresh new ideas, and they're just going to like jump on and get into it and get started. They don't like waiting around for other people. Aries don't like waiting for someone else to get something done before they're able to. They want to be the first. They want to jump in and get onto it as soon as possible. A little bit fiery. Aries are the sign of the ram. So their glyph, which is the symbol that you see on a zodiac chart, is like a little V with two ram's heads, like ram's horns, like that. And what it symbolizes is basically this, they're running into life head first, and they're going to go head first into any situation. So they are not afraid of a fight. They're not afraid to tackle a difficult situation. And Aries, the actual, rather than the zodiac sign, Aries is the god of war, and that's what sort of that energy comes through as well. So there's a real battle energy when it comes to Aries. Sometimes they can be quite strategic as well in terms of what they're doing, almost like they're battle planning out their life. So that's another thing that can come into that as well. Then we move on to Taurus. So Taurus is almost the complete opposite of Aries. Taurus is an earth sign, whereas Aries is fire. So this earth sign, Taurus, is slow, practical, patient, but their patience can sometimes be seen as stubborn. And now Taurus is symbolized by the bull. And so we do have this like bullheadedness vibe to it. But if you actually understand and get to know someone who has their sun in Taurus, you'll understand the underlying drive isn't stubborn, it's patient. They are, they're slow to come to a decision. And when they've made that decision, they know it's the right one, so they'll stick with it. So they're very sort of methodical in that sense. And what they'll do as well is they'll sort of, instead of rushing in to make a decision like Aries would and just going with an impulse, Taurus is going to sit there and think on it. They're not being stubborn, like, come on, make a decision. Why can't you do anything? What they're going to do is go, no, I really want to think about this and give it the time that it requires and the need to come to a really good decision. So that's what it is. It's more this patient, deliberate thinking rather than slow or stubborn, which is what they can be seen as. So yeah, really can have a tendency for perfectionism, and that's again this like slow deliberateness. So they might go to do a job and it might take a really, really long time. And that's because they really want to get it right. They want to make sure that what they're doing is perfect. So that's your Taurus in a nutshell. But they also have this other side to them. It's really sensuous. It's really beautiful. They do love things that are beautiful, things that are a little bit more, they like to indulge a little bit more in the finer things in life. So it's quite luxurious as well. So you'll find a lot of people with Sun in Taurus, what they like to do is surround themselves with beautiful things or beautiful people, things like beautiful candles and nice smelling things and aromas and nice food, definitely a sign of good food. So they won't just want a chocolate cake, they want a chocolate cake with layers of fudge and caramel cream sauce and strawberries on the side, like they want the works. So that's your Taurus. Then we go from Taurus into Gemini. Now, Gemini, the third sign in the zodiac, Gemini is an air sign, and Gemini is all about variety. They want to be here, there, everywhere. They're really fluid as well, so they can sort of like change as the situation or the people they're around come into it. So Gemini are very much about starting something new quite often, so similar to that Aries, like they want to be doing new things all the time, otherwise their mind's going to get really bored. Air signs are quite mind related, so air is all about the thoughts and your mind and ideas and things up in the ether. So with your Gemini people, they're very chatty, they're very good at writing and speaking and blogging and that sort of thing, but they're also very good at talking about lots of different things, and they don't like doing one thing for a long time. So opposite to that Taurus energy where they're going to sit at it and stick at it until it's done properly, Gemini can't do that. They're going to go, I'm just going to quickly fire off this email, then I'm going to run over here and I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then I'm going to run over there, I'm going to say hi to that person. They want to be all over. They're a chronic multitasker, really good at doing jobs that are in a hustle and bustle and lots of things happening around them. So that's your Gemini sort of nature. But then you've also got the twin aspect. So Gemini is known as the sign of the twins. You'll see almost like the symbol of like 2 is the numeral symbol. So that is basically they've got a flip side. So whilst they're really happy and outgoing and chatty and la 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 la, then you get the flip side, which is quite moody, is the general preconception. But that can just be that they're not stimulated enough. If they go into that moody stage, it means they've been in one thing for too long and they need to change it up a little bit. All right, so then we go from Gemini into Cancer. Cancer is our water sign. Cancer is all about home life, stability, sanctuary. Cancers are deep, emotional, beautiful souls, really empathetic in nature. All the water signs will have that empathy, but also that real intuitive side as well. So just this beautiful person that really wants to create a safe space for others. So Cancer's all about, come into my sacred space and let me make you feel safe and able to share what you need to share. So you're going to have, if you have a Cancer friend, they are loyal. They're going to be there forever. They're going to be there, helping you through what you need to go through and creating a safe space for you. So they're really good friends, lovers, companions. But Cancer can be quite sensitive as well. So Cancer, we have the symbol of a crab. And if a crab gets scared or gets hurt, they're going to retreat into their little hard shell and hold themselves up. So we've got to be really careful with our Cancer friends. We've got to make sure that we are reciprocating that nurturing vibe that they're giving us as well. The motherly energy that they put off, we need to make sure that we are in turn giving back to them, and that it's a more even relationship. Otherwise they can get really hurt, or they can give too much and lead to a burnout as well. So our beautiful, soft and gentle, loving Cancer friends. So make sure you give your Cancer friend a hug today. And then we go from Cancer to Leo, so back to a fire sign. So you can see a little pattern here with the zodiac. We've got the 4 elements: fire, earth, air, water. And it's going to do that 3 times, and that's how you get all of them. That's their order. So Leo is the second fire sign in the zodiac, and Leo is all about standing up as who they are in this world and being a shining example for everyone else to follow. Leo is all about fun and creativity and being the life of the party. They love people looking at them and loving them and looking up to them, and they love leading by example as well. So they like to just sort of show up as their flamboyant selves. They can be quite charismatic, they can be quite loud and boisterous, but they're also really good at sort of just fitting in as well. They're not as fixed as the Aries sign is, which I shouldn't say fixed. Aries is a cardinal sign, but yeah, Leo is actually really good at sort of making everyone feel like they're happy and having a good time, making everyone feel special and that sort of thing. So Leo's a beautiful, fun person to have in your life. They're going to brighten up every aspect of your day. Then we go to Virgo. And Virgo in Sun, having your Sun in Virgo is, they can have a tendency for perfectionism as well. Again, another earth sign. All the earth signs are slower moving, but with Virgo, they've got a real keen eye for mistakes and things that might not be working. And so the vibe of Virgo is refinement. It is finding the things that don't work and getting rid of them, which is why they have such a good critical eye, but it can lead them to sort of focus too much on what's not working and not enough on what is working. So we can often find, if we're with our Virgo friends, we can often feel a little bit critiqued, or we might feel like they have a bit of a sharp tongue at times. And keep in mind that what they're trying to do is make everyone's life easier. They've got a really good intention behind it, but if they're not in the right mind space, or they're not aware of this part of themselves, it can come out as just being, oh, that doesn't work for you, or you've got this many spelling errors in this thing. So it can be really hard for them to hold back on that because they want to help somebody. Like, oh, I don't want them posting that on the internet. There's too many spelling errors. Everyone's going to think this of them. I should just tell them. But they come off as maybe a grammar Nazi and that sort of thing. But Virgo is, again, it's a sign of serving and service and being of service to other people. So doing all the sort of behind the scenes tasks that are going to make someone else's life go easier and smoother. They're all about sort of the things that, you think sort of bookkeeping or health, daily wellness and routines and that sort of thing, scheduling, organizing, those sorts of things that are going to really help somebody else's life move smoother and be more efficient. That's the real Virgo energy there. Then we go from Virgo into Libra. Libra is our air sign. Libra is all about balance and beauty and harmony, and they're very much about their relationships as well. So for a person in Libra, they really want a loving relationship, a beautiful, harmonious relationship with another person. That's going to be a strong part of their underlying drive. And yeah, they've got a very keen eye. Again, we get a little bit of a perfectionist vibe coming in with the Libra, just because they want it to be balanced. They want it to be harmonious. They want it to look pretty. They're a little bit like Taurus in this aspect as well. They like things to feel nice, to look nice, to be a little bit sensuous and beautiful. So you often find them in careers like fashion, or in things like where you're adorning the body, or the home, landscape architecture, landscape design, outside, that sort of thing, home design, interior design, that sort of thing. That's where you're going to find someone with their Sun in Libra. So they're very creative, but they can have a tendency to hold back on letting the world see what they've done, because it's not perfect in their eye. So it can be really good to sort of try and step back from that a little bit and know that you can always work on things and refine them later, but it's good to have it out there in the world. No one else is going to have such a keen eye like you do. Then we go from Libra into Scorpio, and Scorpio is our bad boy of the zodiac. So Scorpio is all about intensity. Scorpio is a water sign, very intense water sign, really all about transformation. So Scorpios are going to have a tendency to really dive deep with their friendships and relationships and intimate relationships as well. They are known for their sexual side, or the sexual energy that they bring to things. And Scorpio is also the sign of the scorpion, right? So they can really sting if you put them the wrong way. So they can have a bit of a bite to them in terms of their words and what they say. And the thing with this is a Scorpio gets to know people on such a deep level. They know exactly what to say to make someone that's hurt them hurt back. So it can be this sort of revengeful side to them that you need to be wary of. So they are all about learning other people's secrets, wanting to know the real you, and finding out all the things in your life that they can help you transform into a bigger and better life. So they're really good at like this emotional excavation with their friends, family, or in their work. So really good as therapists and that sort of things, getting to the core of the issue, ripping it out and transforming everything again. But you can have sort of this negative aspect with them where they might get too, I guess, in love with the idea of a transformation, and they want to go through that transformation themselves. So they may put themselves in a risky situation, trying to almost get to the darker side of life, experience all that intensity, only to then bring themselves back out into the light. So you can get this real sort of up and down nature with someone who has their sun in Scorpio. Then we move from Scorpio over to Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is another fire sign. This is the last fire sign for the zodiac. And Sagittarius is the archer. This is someone who just wants to get out, go out into the great wide beyond, explore, find adventure, find new things, new cultures, new beliefs, new everything. Just they've got this real zest for life, and they're really, really good at just kind of like blending in wherever they go and feeling a part of totally new environments just straight away. So they're really comfortable doing new things, getting out of the box, skydiving, doing crazy out there things. That's a very Sagittarian nature. Big on travel. They have to be out there traveling, exploring, or they're going to feel really shut in and closed off. So Sagittarius is a good, fun sign. They can be very chatty as well, and also very philosophical. So they can have this teacher vibe to them, almost like they've gone out and have explored, they've learned all this stuff. Now they're going to bring it up and share it with everyone else. So they've got this sort of dual side to them, almost like this scholarly side. So you've got the adventure, the explorer, learning, and then bringing it back and teaching as well. Then we go from Sagittarius over into Capricorn. Capricorn is also a earth sign, and Capricorns are again going to be seen as not as slow as their counterparts, Virgo, Taurus, not quite as, they're still methodical. They're all about having a structure and a strategy and sort of like creating this almost like big, when I think of Capricorns, I think of sort of like a big business. They want to be head of the business. They want to build this structure to work themselves up to being right at the top. They want to be the best. So similar to Leo, they want to be absolutely the best, number one at their job. Very, very hardworking, and definitely a sign of career. So their house, and I'm not going to really get into houses here, but Capricorn naturally sits in the 10th house, which is all about career and leaving your lasting legacy. So they're very, very, very hard workers, very career oriented, and if they don't know what they're doing with their life, they're going to feel totally lost. Capricorns can also have this goal setting tendency where they sort of set one goal and then a goal after that goal, and then when I reach that goal, I'm going to have this goal, and then after that, and they get very, very, very far ahead of themselves, and it can be really overwhelming then to think, oh my gosh, I've got so much work to do, when really they just need to focus on that very first goal, one thing at a time. So that's where they can sort of get really much too much into their Capricorn work side. So they need to sometimes bring it back, and they need to make sure that they are grounded, and maybe spending some time with maybe people that are in other earth signs as well to bring them out of that and bring them still grounded, but out of that too hard work ethic. Then from Capricorn, we go into Aquarius, and we have Aquarius is another air sign, and this is all about the community and basically bringing about positive change to the world. So you might find Aquarians are quite rebellious, or they can be revolutionary as well. So they're the people at the front of the crowd at a protest, or they're the people that are calling for climate change action. Whilst they are all about being in and a part of the community, Aquarians often really stand out. So they might be the people that have brightly coloured hair or look really different, and they want to fit in, but they really want to stand out. So it's this real like sort of hard energy of this juxtaposition of fitting in and not fitting in. So they're definitely a part of their community. They're out there campaigning. They're all about new age or new technology and sharing a message to the the greater masses. And they can get really into futuristic ideas as well. But the bad side is they can also get into things like doomsday prepping, or maybe really into conspiracy theories, that sort of thing, where they're really so far ahead in the future, and sort of government conspiracies and this and that, like, can get into that area as well. So they just need to hold it back and look at their current community and where that stands. And then the last sign in the zodiac is Pisces, and Pisces is our last water sign. Pisces is very gentle as well, similar to their Cancerian friends. They're very sensitive, very likely to be psychic or intuitive or clairvoyant, that sort of thing as well, in touch with the spirit realm. Pisces is all about spirituality and the darker hidden things in life, karma, those sorts of things, and yeah, very artistic. They're all about creating things, but whilst they really want to be out there in the world, they also really need their time to sort of separate themselves. They can be too sensitive for some of the harsher realities in life, which can sometimes lead them down the path of addiction or other escapist methods. So you need to make sure, again, with your Pisces friends, that you're comforting them, you're making sure they've got the space that they need. And, you know, don't take them to go and see that really gory movie. That's not going to be good for a Pisces. You know, you want to watch something that's fun or creative, or like Alice in Wonderland or something really imaginative. That's where they're going to get their most joy. And they're all about helping their friends get in touch with their emotions and their spirituality and all the things that are a little bit woo-woo in life. So that's sort of where our Pisces friends sits. So hopefully that gives you sort of an overarching view of all the 12 zodiac signs, just in their sun sign essence. Now, all of us are made up of all of these signs in different parts of our area of our life. So we've all got one of these signs as part of us. I'm so sorry, that's my cat. She's brought in I don't know what she's put in. Oh, what have you caught? Oh, it's a grasshopper. Okay, I'm gonna have to it jumped into my hand. Stop that. Come here, Mr. Grasshopper. Check him out. Hello, Mr. Grasshopper. I'm putting him outside. You are not going to make a meal of him. Okay, I really hope I know how to edit that out. If not, you're all just in for a little bit of me rescuing an animal. All right, so hopefully that gives everyone a good overarching view. As I said, we've all got all of those signs as some part of us. Yes, River. And come here, come and say hello. This is my death kitty, okay? Getting all the big bugs. So we've all got some planets as well in each of those signs. So you might have your Mars in Gemini, which means you're motivated by lots of variety. But then you might also have your, let's say, your Venus in Taurus, which means you value things that are really luxurious and sensual and that sort of thing. So there's different ways that this can affect everyone's personality aspects. I'm so sorry about my cat meowing in the background. Anyway, stay tuned, because I will do another one of these on moon signs and then another one for rising signs as well. So if you want to learn more about where you get your emotional fulfillment, stay tuned for the moon signs one. If you want to find out more about what you should be doing as a career in this life, look for the rising sign one. And if you want to get the full report, make sure to jump onto my website and organise your astrology report. And I also do the mini kids version as well. Anyway, bye for now. Have a great day. See ya.